The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another gorgeous, beautiful day in the headquarters of technical trading and investing at TFNN.com from our home base in Clearwater, Florida. An absolute gorgeous drive over here today. You could just, I kind of miss the mountains sometimes, but it's gives you kind of a, I don't know, just a, when you drive around here, all the roads are straight for the most part. And the horizon is almost infinite because, of course, I think the biggest building we have around here is 7, 8, 9 stories tall. We don't have skyscrapers down here. Of course, they'd sink into the muck. Water tables about, you could dig a ditch and, I don't know, within a foot or two, you'd probably start hitting water in most people's yards. So we're not much above the water table. But certainly was a gorgeous drive, and I was looking at the clouds, some thunderstorms off in the distance. You know they had to be 50, 75 miles away, and you could see them clear as a bell, and thank God they were going off to sea. But at least I was hoping they were. Today is Google's birthday. I should have had the engineers in there actually play Today's My Birthday by the Beatles. And Steve, our engineer, wants to horn in on Google's birthday action by saying it's his birthday also. Today is the day that his mother bore him, and apparently brought him down here sometime a long time ago, although he tells me he likes it up north, although he's never been there. Google's birthday, the exact date Google's birthday has changed through the years. They finally settled on the first day that they had their search engine actually operational, and have chosen September 27th as their day. Google, of course, is the name for a very, very large number. A lot of zeros, about yay long. And it's been debated for some time, but certainly one of the best tech companies. We talked about them extensively yesterday. I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say other than they are hitting on all cylinders today. Did they hit another high today? Got to be close. 762.84 is the high today. They pull back a little bit. I don't see them busting out right at the moment, but they could. It looks more like a consolidation. It's probably at the top end. If they're going to break through this range in the previous high of what was a year or two ago, about in the same area, I suspect it's going to take a little bit more juice. You might get that when they launch a few of their new products. I was reading about some of their new Nexus phones coming out and when they're going to be out today. So we'll see how that moves along. But I think market's kind of best description. As soon as it goes down a point or two, the people at the Treasury get a little red in the face, and if they can do it the next morning, they'll go out there and absolutely hammer the futures to get the market going up. And of course, everybody's a little short, so it ends up being one of these days where you get kind of a nice little jam action. Unfortunately, today there's no volume. That means we're probably, while they may be able to hold it up here, I'm not really thinking that we're going to get higher prices. 1.9 billion shares so far today, with us not really waiting for any big numbers, and most everything on the table that we can only get 1.9 billion coming into 2 o'clock Eastern time tells me that we've got, well, at least Houston, we've got a problem. And it's going to be light. So I'm not really thinking, the Fed's not coming out, nothing news coming out in the way of news. It's just almost impossible for me to think that there is some kind of piece of news coming out that would actually move this market higher right now. They may keep on here till the election. fire off a big treasury buy every morning to keep the futures up. But, right now, I'm looking at long-term option plays, and started some on Tuesday. I think we got them in about the right time, getting kind of a bounce out of it here today, and I think there's a lot of people in the street just trying to keep these stocks up for the 1st of October, and may run like scalded cats as soon as October 1st gets here, as soon as their quarter's over. Of course, almost everybody on Wall Street gets paid their Christmas bonus on this quarter, so they're all more than willing to keep this market up for a few more days. But I'd say that a few stocks people are already starting to look a little weak on, but we'll see a few pumps and dumps here. Gold, of course, popped fairly decently up here, but been kind of in that trading range. Just a little bit better move out here today. What do we have? Up 26 bucks, 1779.80. I keep on thinking that we could see a 150 point move in this one day, and not to the upside. It just seems like everybody that's ever wanted to buy gold is in, at least right now, and there's no fear. That's a market that I always feel I want to take the opposite side of the trade on. Crude is up $1.88 after being down into the $89 level, adding a lot of juice to the market out here. UNG up 61 cents. Natural gas itself, what is it? Up 7 cents, so not too bad. $3.29. So we continue to see that kind of movement, but certainly a lot of juice in this market. In the news, not a whole lot going on. AMD showed their Trinity chips out today. Let's see if I got a quote on AMD here. I don't have anything right up now. AMD, see what they're doing today. Up 11 cents, so no biggie. $3.43. We talked about the problems they're having. They launched their new Trinity chips to go in a lot of these Windows 8 machines. And even though they've doubled the performance per watt of the previous generation of their AMD chips for consumer PCs and low-end desktops, it seems like they are falling generationally behind because of the lack of ability to make smaller and smaller CPU based on basically 22 nanometer technology, which is about 3/4 of what the Intel chips are right now. They're yelling about up to 12 hours of battery life and some other stuff. Much better graphics performance on these, but you can really see that the only way that they're going to compete now is on price. It looks like the whole performance thing's out the window. If you can't get your fab house to build it, it won't matter, and Intel has got at least a generation or two ahead on actually designing and building things smaller. The smaller they are, the less power they use. And AMD's tried to use Global Foundries, Taiwan Semiconductor, and those two guys just can't keep up. And I think we've got Intel trying to get into that whole Windows 8 thing, but we covered that a little bit yesterday. So we'll see how a lot of this plays out over the next day. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And we'll be glad to take your phone call. In fact, we're probably going to have some time. Fairly quiet news day out here. Some of the other things going on is we're now seeing some countries, Australia, Germany, and I'm trying to remember, there was one more. I don't know if I have it up. Maybe I have it up out here in my browser. I will try. No, I do not. But they are changing laws for high-frequency trading of their exchanges. And a lot of people think that that's what we should do over here. But they're showing a lot more fear in those other countries of high-frequency trading coming. They know it really doesn't offer a lot for them. And they're already heading the broker-dealers off at the pass that want to instigate or be in that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we wanted to talk about here. We'll go through some winners and losers fairly quickly in the market and be back in just a second. Let me, what I wanted to do here, I wanted to go to some of these, see what was really moving out here. Let's go to the NASDAQ. And what else do we have? Is that right? No, that's not right. Here we go, maybe. There we go. Okay, and we've got, we're going to look at some of the winners here. And that's Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, nice little short squeeze up $1.53, up 6.5%. We've got, what else is going on here? Move it just a little bit here. We've got Avago Technologies. Of course, we've been talking about them this week. A big little hunk of the apple pie. And they're up $1.45 today, 4.3%. We've got Staples, and mostly reorganizations up. In fact, most of these are heavily shorted stocks, 3.68. We do have a phone call, so we'll get back to these in a second. We got Max from the Tri-City. How you doing today?
Hey, David, quite well. How are you?
Fantastic. So what are we looking at today?
Well, Marvell, AT&T, of course, with the whole iPhone launch. I bought some December 38 calls. Got back when the stock was at 36.50. Looks like it developed a cup and handle, but just seems to be stalled out here for about $38 for about the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I think everybody's trying to figure out if Apple will actually have enough of their iPhones. That's the big thing that's pretty much stalled all of these companies that had the big run. Like I said, to me, if I was playing these, I'd probably look at something more like Avago or something else on that. I think that these companies have probably gotten to their pretty much zenith on Apple news. It's all baked into the pie. And the only thing that they probably will do is go down if they can't satisfy demand. And it's all about building those displays for LG and Sharp and Samsung so they can build enough of the iPhones and get them out the door. AT&T, you know, I see what you're saying in the cup and handle. The big thing I would be looking at is just how it tested these highs as it came back through. And you had that first high at about 36 million shares. You came in here, you tested it with about the same volume with 36 million shares on the 21st, and you had 36 million shares on the what was that, June 31st also? Or was that July 31st? Right. So, you know, you've got about the same volume. I just don't, you know, you got, well, you want to hang on through the break?
Sure.
Okay. We'll be back in just a minute with Max from Tri-City about AT&T.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and the Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
80% of traders fail because they don't know when to get in or out of a market, and all because no one taught them how to read the signs. You see, the stock market has a universal language called Japanese candlesticks, and each day, the buyers and sellers, the bulls and bears, go to work and build signs. This language has been around for thousands of years, and it's easy to learn. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Masters Show, and I'm a master sign builder. Download my free report, Candlesticks, The Speed of Trust, on the homepage of TFNN.com for one of the best-kept candlestick secrets. I'll also be conducting an online course Friday, October 19th, to teach you the language of the market's sign builders. You'll learn the best entry and exit techniques and strategies that will create extraordinary rewards. The course will be archived so you can review it as many times as you like, because trading or investing without learning this language is like running a red light. It's an accident waiting to happen, and there's no airbags or seatbelts. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're talking with Max in Tri-City, and it's you've got what month do you have for the calls?
December.
Oh, you got plenty of time then. You're going to know, but my guess is this thing goes flat until when is the last day of the month here? So it'll be tomorrow. Yeah. So they're going to carry that out. Of course, they only need to hold this market up for one more day, and then that would be it. And they'll be able to keep, if they're long these stocks, they'll be able to keep them. And I have a feeling it's a lot more than about quarterly earnings statements and a lot of these fat cats on Wall Street keeping the market up for one more day.
So you think she's going to correct right here and find maybe? Well,
you've got one of the better stocks in the marketplace. I would have liked this thing to either come in with half the volume of the previous high or twice the volume. Where you got the same volume, it's kind of hard. I've always subscribed to the theory that when you get if you get within just a couple of percent of the previous volume, that's generally good enough. So my guess is that it's probably 60-40 you go higher. But to me, that's a little bit too much like gambling, so I'd probably look at something else.
What was the stock you were saying that might be a better play in this particular sector? Or was it Vago, was it?
Yeah, any of the ones I've been talking about this last week that are in the whole supply chain sector. If you're watching Apple's move, Avago is up 4%. It was heavily shorted. AVGO.
Okay.
But I may hit some of these other stocks later in the show that are still on Apple and in the Apple supply chain and see how they actually are doing over today, because I haven't had a chance to look at them myself. But you've got Qualcomm, you've got Avago, Skyworks Solutions, Triquint Semiconductor. Those are the ones I just remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to think. Let me see. I think I have a list here of them. See, Apple parts. Yes, I do. I still have them. ARMS Holding, Avago, Micron Technologies for the memory. OVTI makes the cameras. And that's it. Skyworks Solution, Triquint Semiconductor. Those are the ones that have about 98% of the parts in there minus the display. And I don't think anybody's making any money on the display company, Samsung, or trying to trade LG or Sharp on this. Probably not going to make any money one way or the other, long or short. So we can take a look at those later in the show. But I just think that, as far as those guys, your Delta's probably out of AT&T for a little while. But I like that you went out to December's on these.
Yeah, I want to give myself some extra time. I was looking to see if I was going to test that 4250 high.
From way back.
Exactly. And I thought, well, my target on it was 4050 was my target based on that cup and handle. But selling out right here, and like I said, it had a little bit of decent volume. It did break the lip of the cup with 36 million shares compared to the the 41 and 28.
Yeah,
it gave it up on price. It hit 38.58, which was a yearly high, but then gave it back up and just sort of parked right there ever since.
Yeah, for the highest volume, I always use a high 0.5% within that high. So I'm looking at the first high having 36 million shares. I mean, it is a few pennies higher, but you had that much energy going in, just a few pennies lower. So into this, it's fine, but I suspect that this thing this goes out at about $38 tomorrow too. I just don't see, looking at it trade over the last couple of days, I think that they're just holding this thing up here, and then we'll find out Monday if you're right, if it's going to go higher. But it looks to me like they're actually holding it up here, so I would be a little cautious, but I think you've got enough time.
All right, so even like Monday, if it's going to go, it's just going to follow the bed, basically. It's not going to creep down. It's just going to go.
No, I figure this whole market's moving on Monday. I think right. Everything I saw this morning was the Treasury coming in and hitting it in the morning, and then the big guys on Wall Street coming in this afternoon and just trying to make their checks just a little bit bigger for those Christmas bonus checks.
All right, so Monday you think is just our correction and breathe out?
Well, I think we're either breaking out up or down. I'm betting on the downside.
Okay, so are you straddling anything, or are you just going short?
No, I bought some on Tuesday when the VIX was down like 13 or 14 or whatever it was. I mean, the implied volatility was very low, and I bought some Novembers to get me through the election. And so I'm on the downside of it and still on the plus side of that, but not very far from Tuesday, but still doing okay. We'll be back, and we've got a phone call from Allie. We'll be talking to him in a minute about GMCR. Be back in a minute.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. If you're a trader thirsty for knowledge, then we have the perfect event for you. Tom O'Brien will be hosting a live 4-hour dynamic trading strategies workshop on September 29th in the Tampa area. This one-of-a-kind workshop takes place from 8 a.m. till noon and is completely free. We'll even be giving away almost $2,000 in door prizes randomly drawn from those that attend live. Along with diagnostic trading expert Daryl Martin, Tom O'Brien will teach you how to identify and set up your trades using dynamic trading strategies, and Daryl Martin will teach you his diagnostic trading formula, including the strategy, system, and style that gives you an edge in this market. For more information and to reserve your spot today for the September 29th free Dynamic Trading Strategies Workshop in Tampa, please visit the front page of TFNN.com. Don't wait to act, as space is limited. Sign up today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, hopefully we've got Ali from Fremont, California today, and GMCR, which is Green Mountain Coffee Roasters. How you doing today, Ali?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you very much for taking my call. And can I talk?
Yep, go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Actually, I was listening to your answer to the person already called me before me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my main question, that you already said that the market's going to hold up for tomorrow. And this is a Green Mountain Coffee I have bought like $31.50, and there was another TEX. And I was wondering if I can just get rid of that one today, or I can hold on to till tomorrow.
You have what on them? You have calls or puts? Or you just...
No. I have stocks. I just bought the stocks.
And you
the market is...
you own this one right now?
Yes, sir.
At how much?
TEX is 463, and the Green Mountain Coffee is 215 shares.
Yeah, but I mean, at what price do you own Green Mountain?
$31.50. The day I have bought it, it kept going down and down, and today is the first day it came up. So I was wondering if I can get rid of it, or tomorrow, like you said, the market's going to hold up.
I would have first said don't buy Green Mountain at all, ever. Okay. The problem I have here is you've got a you've got a stock that could blow up any day. They've got some fairly significant accounting problems, and you never know when the other shoe's going to drop on that deal. They've been able to go sideways here for a while, but my guess is that one day the last of the roaches are going to scurry on out. We're going to have one more problem. They're down here for a reason, and that is that they front-loaded, I will call it, I believe it's a fraud. I don't know if they can be prosecuted for it, but they were shoving a lot of inventory to their retailers and counting it as sold. And that basically drove their stock price up to those $100 mark. Now what we find out is it was kind of a sham, and of course everybody wants to have nothing to do with it. Some of those accounting things, you never know when they're going to come out and restate yet again previous earnings or even the earnings that they're having now. So this one would scare the bejesus out of me. I think there's a couple of stocks like that that are almost zombie stocks because you don't know when the other shoe's going to drop. This one, I think, is it the people that make the almonds? Is it Diamond? I think it's Diamond Foods or whatever it is. They're another one with accounting problems. But this company's probably never going to get the trust back that it needs for a year or even longer, even if they could turn things around. So I would keep this on my brown list for a while and make sure that I don't trade it at least to the long side. On the short side, it's so short that I don't know if you could even get shares if you want it. So, I mean, I would just put a stop in and make sure that it doesn't go any lower, you don't lose any more. But I would try to get out of it as soon as possible. I just wouldn't want to have a stock like this in my portfolio, even to begin with and even now. But them and Diamond, I think it's Diamond Foods and some other ones, these guys have pulled some fast ones, and no one's really going to trust them very soon. And I think the news is just going to get worse for them. We've got, especially this Christmas season, Starbucks going after them with their new coffee machine themselves. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse as time goes along. Okay? So, get out as soon as... Get out as soon as possible. I don't think, you're in it already, so it's rather problematic. You don't have much volume so far today. Trying to see. I mean, the only good thing is you did have this thing come up on heavy volume on the 7th and the 10th, and you come back down in there with lighter volume. You're back in that trading range. But you probably, if you get your money back, I'd certainly sell it at whatever, $31 on your entry. But
I mean, I'm sorry. My other question was, I'm gonna go with your answer. But should I get rid of it today or tomorrow? Like you said, the market is gonna go up a little bit tomorrow.
Well, I think the market's probably going to come out and stay flat tomorrow, but I think they're just holding it up for one more day. But it's, for me, I don't know.
Actually,
where was your stop going to be to begin with when you started this trade? When you bought it, how much were you willing to lose when you bought it?
I was just not more than $1, but it's been going down and down every day. $1, $1.50, $1.90.
So when it went down $1, why didn't you sell it?
Actually, I thought it was going to come back. I got it from the the Vector site.
Yeah.
And they expanded it. So
I wouldn't put a lot of money on that. You should have a plan before you enter your trade. You should pretty much know how much you're willing to lose, and unless there's some exigent circumstances, if it hits that mark, you should do it. If it comes down $1, and that's where my stop is, and the volume was half, I may give it a little bit more room, but I certainly wouldn't be giving it any more room if it came down on heavy volume. And you certainly, at the worst, the signal you had was on the 20th, when this thing had 11.5 million shares down that day. there's no way you could have been in long on that any longer. Volume picked up significantly on that gap down, and that's where you should have been out of it. That's probably where, even if this market, you get a lucky bounce out of it, you're going to have real tough resistance about $29.75. So I would be, even if you are lucky, but I'd put a number, put a stop in. I'll let you determine that, because your stop should have probably been whatever it was when you said. If you were willing to drop a buck, you should have had your stop in there, and when it hit it, pulled the trigger. I want to thank you for your call. And unfortunately, once it goes past what you thought you should lose, it becomes kind of a hard decision to make. It's a little Monday morning quarterbacking for me. The big thing is just don't do it again. Learn from it, and don't go back after it. Let's see. Apple. Nancy in the den is fixated on Apple. Seems like Apple a day keeps her money away. Anyway, Apple, after hitting $705 at its highs, pulled back, had some nice volume. It's going to pull back up here. I think that this thing's probably in a trading range. I thought that 674 should have held, that we went below that, opens up a little bit more room down around the last high volume day, which is probably around 640 bucks. But again, everybody owns Apple. Everybody wants Apple to hit a high tomorrow. So you probably got one good day out of this thing. If there's a fund manager that doesn't own Apple, I don't know who it is. So they're going to want to pop this thing. They may even put a lot more English on this thing tomorrow if there is one stock to do it. Because you buy some of this tomorrow, and it makes the rest of the market look good, because it's going to move the indexes. But I think probably 85% of this move is in, so you may see $5 higher tomorrow. Had also a question from the same fine lady in the den. That was I picked $700 for Apple to expire on Friday, and she couldn't quite figure it out. It was close to that already. The $700 mark, and there were like 35,000 calls and 15,000 puts at $700. All those would expire worthlessly, and all they had to do was get it fairly close to there. Apple's a fairly easy stock to manipulate because of the high stock price. And one of the other things is that on the strikes at 695 and 705, there were like 3,000 or 4,000 share option puts and calls and stuff. So very, very light. So if you're an option market maker that still has some money out there, the last thing you want to do is give any of it up. If you've got deep pockets, you'll just buy it and sell it. Hopefully it expires exactly at $700, and you don't have to give money to either side. If they actually execute those options. So just a massive amount. If you see a massive amount of puts and calls at a strike, like $700 or $650 or $60, and on the other side of it you don't see any, that is an excellent candidate for what's called pinning. That is, the option market makers work for probably some big street name. They've got all the money in the world that they need. All they have to do is sit there and hammer the stock up and down until they pin it. So they'll buy and sell and buy and sell. And first thing came Monday morning, they were pretty much out of it. But there's so much money to be made on these options if they can go ahead and kill it off. But those were just the monthly options. I didn't even look at see how much at $700 the weekly options. I guess there's no weeklies on the expiration week. But before, it was hard to see that there was a trend. But when everybody bets on one number and there's no bets on the other side, an excellent opportunity to go pin it. So what do I actually wrote about it. I didn't spend a lot of time educating people in it, but it is the big thing I disliked was it was not an easy thing to figure out how to make money on it. So it's easy to see how a lot of people are going to lose money on it, but it wasn't a very easy thing to figure out how you were going to make money on it. I'm not one to be selling puts and calls on the day of expiration, let me put it that way. and playing white lightning. But it gave you a good indication what the rest of the market was going to do, and that Apple wasn't going to do a lot. Speaking of Apple, we had the gentleman ask about it. I just wanted to look real quickly at some of the charts for ARMS Holdings, and that's it's popped up. But we had another question, which is how do I know that a lot of these are short covering? And that is, if you watch the morning, people came in, they didn't buy it. Then all of a sudden it started, you'll see these stocks move up a quarter or 50 cents or $1. And then you see a lot of volume. They're just running the stops. And those stops are most likely from shorts. And if they've got a light market like we do on light volume today, and you see these things move in 25 and 50 cents instead of a penny, and you see them just run through all the stops, that's market makers and operators in stocks. They know they've got, all they have to do is run the stock up as quickly as possible to make sure that shorts don't have an opportunity to beat it back down, and run all the stops. The people that want to short it love it because they'd love to get in a much higher price. So the embedded people with a investment at the moment, and also shorts tend to be the weakest hands and the quickest to get out of a position. A short is likely to trade 10 times as many positions in a year than a long trader is. So they tend to be very quick on the mouse button. But if you just see them run real quick and take huge moves and don't see a lot of volume, pretty good indication that they're running shorts out of the marketplace. Anyway, ARMS Holdings, nice little move, but again, not a lot of volume as we see out here. Vago, which we talked, was a 4% mover. Excellent quality. Look at the volume down yesterday, or even the last 4 previous days. We're nowhere close to that, but we've had a huge candle that would normally be a reversal if you could get anywhere close to the volume that we've had before. We had 6 million shares on September 21st on a Vago. What are we going to get here? Maybe half that? What do we have? 2.7 million shares. So good indication, huge candle, no volume, and it ran through those stops very fast. If you look intraday, that's a good indication that you've got short covering. Micron not doing much. Of course, it hadn't done much for a while. Omnivision, again, not a whole lot of movement out there. Qualcomm, bounce, very light volume again. Again, a lot of this looks like end of the month fund buying, and in this case, end of the year and our Christmas bonus buying. But not a whole lot to actually hang your hat on. Probably Skyworks Solutions, the only one that's made a fairly decent signal. It went and tested the September 20th low, $23.27 with 33 million shares. That one did come in and give kind of a decent signal on it. So you might want to keep an eye on that. SWKS, they make the antenna switchers on it, on the Apple iPhone 5. Triquint Semiconductors, another one. I didn't like the energy that came down in here over the last 5 days, but it's at fairly significant support and popped up. But again, none of these stocks really impressed me in the Apple ecosystem space. They've been kind of weak. They've been going down to support levels. And in this case, Triquint, a little bit too much volume for me on the way down. Better idea that if this is support, they're going sideways.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question: are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this: today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come to the close of the day, we'll look at a few other stocks here closely. Let me go ahead and load my list. I appreciate all the phone calls that I've been getting here in the last few days. It's always quiet in here. You never know what the natives are doing out there. It's always neat to know what's going on with the people out there. I've got a list. Wanted to see if there was anything out here that and was watching hard drives out here, and I think somebody called about Western Digital and Seagate over the last couple of days. Wanted to check back with them. Of course, they took off with a huge gap. They are coming back. I'm kind of wondering if I've kind of thought that these things may have hit their zenith because of the earnings that they've made over last year with the scarcity of hard drives and the floods, and we were looking at Western Digital actually trying to come back and fill that gap. Actually, much better looking chart than I would have thought. I would have thought a lot heavier volume we came back, but not one that's looking so bad. You had that huge gap up on 726, and that was on almost 21 million shares that were back in that gap area with about 38. If this thing could get back about 36 and still not see any kind of volume, this may be very interesting. STX is Seagate, which is another one. This one looks like it's a little different in that it came down on heavy volume and it's testing on lighter volume. So I don't know, maybe there's a pair trade in that long Western Digital and short Seagate. But it is... He had kind of a gap down. That was on the 6th of September. And that was 18 million shares, getting back into it with 10 million shares on the 25th. And, of course, that acting as fairly decent resistance levels. Looks like we'll probably try to get back in that maybe tomorrow. But again, I think we're probably looking at a flat day tomorrow, if not just slightly up. Everybody try to put some lipstick on this pig for the end of the year and make some nice big checks for those people on the street. Let's see what else we have up here. Pacific Ethanol. Maximum Integrated Products. I think we brought this up earlier last week, and it was coming down to the same thing. But this came down and tested that gap area, a little lighter volume, 2.5 million shares. But that gap did act as a support level in Maxim MXIM. I would like to have seen a lot different volume in that one. Let's see what else we have. Men's Warehouse. This is another one that if you are thinking long, some of the ones that have gapped up on huge volume are coming back into their gaps. Men's Warehouse popped on the 6th also, 3.8 million shares. It's now pulled back into this gap, and we're seeing, under 400,000 shares. What? 2 days ago we had 700,000 shares. Not a bad looking chart, actually. So there's some out here that if this market does tend to start taking off, there are a few out here that would look good. Another one is Haynes Celestial Group, H-A-I-N, he said. Another one that actually kind of popped out fairly nice. Popped on the July 23rd with 4.7 million shares. It's gotten back into that with like 1 million shares here. Haynes Celestial Group. Trying to think if there's any others. We're out of time. You can always get my newsletter and get these charts early before the market opens. 5 days a week. Have charts in the morning and then a little commentary in the afternoon on my daily newsletter. You can always sign up by going to TFNN.com and checking out a free 2-week trial. Anyway, we will see you all tomorrow.